Hi, today I'm going to show you how we can use the new AI Builder from PowerAutomate. So PowerAutomate is the new way that Microsoft used to call Microsoft Flow. It kept receiving a lot of updates, like we got a common data service some time ago, then we got the ability to create solutions, and now we got the ability to add artificial intelligence to our business solutions. We can add artificial intelligence to our flows and to our Power Apps customizations or forms using this AI builder, artificial intelligence builder. And the cool thing about this is that it's really simple. It's intended for people that don't have much experience in those areas. I really don't have much experience in artificial intelligence or machine learning, and I've been able to create a solution in just uh, some time with not much training needed. So there are different models that you can create using this builder, like solutions for recognizing information in documents, recognizing information in images, predicting things that are going to happen, categorizing text, and so on. Here I used this first feature, form processing, to build a real life time-saving, a real life time-saving example that I'm going to share with you right now. So here I have a couple of invoices. They all have the same layout. So they have from, total, dates, and so on. And what we're going to do is we're going to train a model with these sample invoices so that then we can use other invoices as an input and they can recognize the values that we tell the model to identify in the sample invoices that we will give them while training it. The final objective is that our model will be able to process a new invoice, and it will give us all the information that it can extract from the model and identify, and we will be able to use that information in our either in our flows or in our flows. So I'm now going to show you how we can integrate that model in a real life example. Imagine that you always receive these invoices from the same email address from your service provider. So you can create a flow that will process all the emails that come from your service provider email address. If they have an attachment, you can make your flow process that attachment, send the attachment to our business model, to our intelligence model, and then extract the metadata from the model and use it somewhere, like, for example, uploading that information to your SharePoint site. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send myself one of these invoices so that you can see how it works. I'm going to send the invoice to myself. This model is expecting the flow is expecting the emails to come to my email address. So I'm going to send an email here to myself. I will say invoice March, and I will include this PNG file that has As you see, it's an invoice. It doesn't have to have the same format as the ones you use in the training model. So for the model, I train the model with the PDF files, not with the PNG. So you can have different formats, and the model will recognize the information. So I'll send the email, and now what I'll do is I'll go to my flow, and I'll wait for it to run. I'll refresh this page. Okay, so here we have an instance of my flow running. Okay, and now my flow run, and basically the final output of this process is that this created here, this uploaded the attachment, the invoice, to this document library that I created before, where I also created a couple of this document library has a custom content type where I added these three fields, date, from, and total. And as you see, the AI model automatically extracted all this information from the invoice and was able to in this case, upload it to a SharePoint library. So if I show you the invoice, the information that you see here in the list in the library is the information from the invoice. So here you have the date, the from, and the total. Okay, these are the three fields that I configured the model with. So let's go to creating this. So I'll show you how you can create a model, and then I'll walk you through the flow that I created for this example. So the first step here is creating your model. So the type of model that I created is of type form processing. It's still in preview, but it worked completely fine for me. So you go here, you name your model. So invoices processing. You click create. Now you have to upload 5 or more documents so that it can process them. So I'll go ahead and click on add documents here and select my sample invoices, upload. Now, once we uploaded the documents, we click on analyze. So this will analyze the content of the documents and will show us what metadata the AI builder could identify in these files that we uploaded, and will let us choose which of these fields we want to use in our model. And this doesn't take much time. In general, it takes a couple of seconds, less than a minute. It also depends on how much information you have on the documents you upload. But in this case, so now you click on the document, and you see that it shows me all the information that it could identify. So you can select information that you need only. So for the example that I showed before, I selected the from, the date, and the total. That's all I did. Then you click on done, and now you click on next, and you will train your model. So the model trains with the information that you uploaded, basically those files, and it will keep on training with the information that you keep on giving it later when you use your model. So now the training is complete, and you can go to the details page. And here you will see, so this is your document, these are the fields, and then you can use your model in Flow or PowerApps. You only need to publish it, and after publishing, your model is ready. So now let's see a live example of how you can use your model in a flow. So in this case, I created a flow that triggers when a new email arrives. So in this case, it's when it arrives to my inbox. I'm not doing any kind of filter here. Because this is just a test. So you could be filtering by the emails that come from your service provider email address, or any kind of other advanced filtering. I'm just taking the ones that have an attachment. And then for each attachment, this is all I'm doing. So the first thing you will notice here is the predict. So the predict action is an action you can use to consume an AI model. So what you will do here is you will first select what's your model. So you see invoice is the one I created initially, and invoice processing is the one I created just during this demo. And then what you need to do is you need to send the information as an input to your model. So in meme type, you're going to send the content type of the information. In this case, I'm directly taking this from the attachment. So the Outlook connector will automatically give me for each file what's the content type. So it depends on where you're using, what's the source of the file. You may have that information or not. You need to give this information to the model, otherwise it won't process it, at least for now. And then what you need to do is you need to send the bytes in this JSON property, the bytes for the file. So so basically what this action will do is it will call your AI model, and it will give this information, and then it will generate the output from the call to the AI model. So if I go back and show you how the output looks like, so we can see the last call, the last run, so that you see how this comes. So basically, this will return a JSON file. So this is the response from the request to the service that will process your file. And here, if you see, this is the response, the actual response, where I can show you this. So we can take the contents of these. I will just unescape the quotes. so that it's simpler to read. And I'll put this in some nicer place, like let's use Visual Studio Code. So new file, let's paste this here, file, save as, let's say JSON, there we go. Let's save it here. We'll So something is missing here. So let's delete this, and let's delete this. And now let's format the document. So as you see, what this will output is in the labels node will contain the values for the three properties that we set up on our model, and for each it will give us the value. So in the value property, you have the actual value for that property for that model, and here you have general information about where it found it, how close that information is to the actual property found in the previous documents that the model was used for training purposes. And so this is what you can use. This is the output that you can use for your business processes, either in the Flow or in PowerApps. So in my case, what I did was I parsed this JSON. So I don't know if you ever used the parse JSON action or not, but what you need to do is, once you add the parse JSON for the first time, it will ask you for a payload. So you need to give this action the output, the input, a sample input, a sample JSON input. So you'd need to give the action the sample JSON, so that it can generate the schema that it needs to read it. And then as you see, so it received this content, that is the content that I showed here. This is the schema that it recognized while I was creating the flow, and here are the outputs. So if I show you, then let's go back to my flow. I'll edit the flow again, and as you can see, in this case, well, I am creating a file in an accounting site in a folder called invoices, and then what I'm doing is I'm updating the file properties with the information that comes from the parse JSON action. So as you see here, I'm getting from prediction output, that is this property from the JSON output. From there, I'm taking the label date, for example, for the date, and from that one, I'm taking the value. The same for the from, and the same for the total. For the total, I'm just I'm removing the currency symbol, and that's it. So this is a simple way you can automate some task. using artificial intelligence provided by Power Automate to automate any kind of business scenario like this. Thanks for watching.